Alrighty, so slope-intercept is what you guys find most common. Of course, it's y equals what? Out loud. mx plus b. B being, of course, the y-intercept, and m being the slope. And so we do here, I highly recommend get in the habit of rewriting the equation directly underneath, and then go ahead and circle plug chug. So that's going to be at positive 3, 1, 2, 3. That's your intercept. Your slope we know is negative, so make a little baby line to remind yourself which way to go. There's at least one person that graphed this wrong because you made a positive slope. So make a little baby slope which way you know it has to go, and it's rise 2 over 5. So I can rise 2, but I know it's negative, so I go left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or I could even go down 2 and over 5 this way. It doesn't matter. And such is my line. Take a shot at the one on the right. Take a shot at the one on the right. Am I? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. You are right. Good call, Tom. Good call. Take a shot at the one on the right, please. Okay, let's see how you did. So you write y equals mx plus b right underneath. Okay, mx plus b, that lines it up. And then we're going to do the intercept first, which is going to be negative 2. Right there, that's your negative 2 y-intercept. Our slope is, it says it's 4. Of course, you guys should recognize that that's 4 over 1. It's positive, so it's going to go up from left to right. So I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go to the right 4 because I want a positive line, or down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that way. How many of you got this one right? Let me see. Hopefully, yeah, that should be 100% there, guys. Okay, fabulous. Please just punch to hear that. Excellent, there we go. Now, that is slope-intercept. Now, this one, shockingly, I had several people get this wrong in the final, so let me go through this real quick. Graphing horizontal and vertical lines. So just write x equals and y equals, and we'll tell you which one's which in a moment. When you have x equals and y equals, they are both either a horizontal or a vertical line. So let me show you. X equals negative 2. What I'm about to show you is wrong. Just watch. Hang on. I'm going to show you the most common mistake, okay? So right here, x equals negative 2. Woohoo! X equals negative 2. That is the point, negative 2 comma 0. That's a point. That's not a line. The easiest way to do these and get them right is to simply do a bunch of points where x is negative 2. So get 3 points here. Start with negative 2 comma 0. And now just work your way up. We're going to go negative 2, 1, negative 2, 2. Do 3 points. Ready? Plot those 3 points. Okay, so negative 2, 1, we already have it. Negative 2, negative 2, 0, we have. Negative 2, 1 is that dot right there. And negative 2, 2 is that dot right there. Behold, it is a vertical line. Okay? So x equals is always going to be a vertical, straight vertical line. X equals. That is x equals negative 2. What's your guess there, Christian?
I'm guessing horizontal.
Excellent. Fabulous. So right here, guys, graph a bunch of points where you have y as 7. Start with 0, because that's what you guys are used to. Okay, so for example, graph 0, 7, graph 1, 7, graph 2, 7. That's y equals 7. So you put a 7 in the y category, or y position. Graph that. Alrighty? Let's see how you did. So 0, 7 is right here. That's 0, 7. and then 1, 7, so over 1 up 7, and 2, 7. So as you can see, we have here y equals a horizontal line, always. So y equals a horizontal. Okay, so that you should be familiar with. That one you're familiar with. This third one you're familiar with. Oh, no, you're not. So this is called a graphing point slope. You may have seen this before, but we haven't used it too often. This is called the point slope formula. We use this when you have a point, so put a little coordinate there. We're going to call that x1, y1. And you have a slope, which of course is m. Okay, ready? Start like this, y minus and x minus. Okay, and it looks like this, y minus y1, x minus, that's x1, and then your slope goes there. That's called point slope. You can use this when you have a point and a slope. It's actually a shortcut to something I've had you guys do before. Okay, so take a look here on the left. This is in point slope form, so the first thing you want to do is write the equation right underneath, right? So I'm going to go y minus, okay, and x minus. I'm going to color code this for you so it's easy to see. Y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. Write that equation right underneath. Line it up, please. Line it up. Exactly line it up. Now you want to go ahead and start circling and picking stuff up. So let's start with our x, since you're familiar with that. Our x1, notice the sign did not swap. If x1 was negative, it would have double negative made it positive. So right now we know our x had to have been 5. Our x1 is 5. If I put -1 here, Jordan, or -5, double negative would have swapped the sign. Okay, comma, and then our y1, notice the sign did not swap, so it was not a double negative, so my y is going to be +2. And my slope is right there. My slope is -1/4. Now this is a real piece of cake to graph. It's just you're not starting at the y-intercept. You start at the point, 5, 2. So over 5, up 2. That's your point. Start at the point. And we know, nope. And your slope, we know, is going to go down. So I'm going to go, my rise is 1, and I'm going to go left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I'm going to go down 1 and over 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's your line. You and your tables do the one on the right. You and your tables do the one on the right. Take a shot. Start by writing the equation right underneath. Write the equation right underneath. Line it up. If the sign swaps, it means the original was negative. Write the equation. So take a look here. Y minus y1. That is originally negative. It's easy to sign swap. So y1 has to be a -4. Only the double negative swap that. You got it? Pull out the x and the y. Plot that point. Count out the slope. After this, we'll take a quick break. Or we. So you should have had, I'm going to do the y minus equals and x minus, And our y1, if we swap the sign, that means our original had to be -4. And our x1, okay, a sign swap, that means our x1 had to be -7. How many got that right? Excellent. And then your slope is right here. We're going to pick up the slope, of course, which is 3/1. You start by doing -7, -4, so we're -7. 1, 2, 3, -4. That's our point. And then it's a positive slope, so it's up 3 and over 1. Or I could do down 3 and over 1 this way. It doesn't matter. And there you be. How many got that right? Excellent. We good to go?
Rise 3 down to 1.
Rise 3. Yeah, your rise is 3. Your run is 1. Okay. Words and phrases. Okay. Yeah, underline, box, highlight. So we're going to get given this line, y equals 2/3 x plus 6. Graph a line perpendicular to this line. Circle that. Put perpendicular. You need to, okay, and goes through a point, -4, +4, -5. Now, instantly, this requires for you to know the issues with slope and perpendicular and slope and parallel. I'd like you to write both of them up there. You must memorize this. Perpendicular lines, slope times slope equals -1. That's perpendicular lines. Slope times slope. They are opposite reciprocals. Always for perpendicular lines. The other one you should know is parallel, which is slope is simply equal to slope. Perpendicular, they multiply to -1. The only exception to that would be horizontal and vertical lines, which is undefined in 0. Perpendicular, that's when the blue is slope times slope equals -1. The red is parallel, slope equals slope. So we're going to do both. We're going to graph and we're going to write an equation. So right here, box the word graph. That's the first thing we're doing. And the second, write an equation in slope-intercept form. Under the word slope-intercept, this is the final form I want it in. That's what you guys are used to. So we're doing two things here. So we're going to follow this. Step number 1, our given slope right there is 2/3. So we just go 2/3. That's our given slope. Since we want a perpendicular slope, we have to do the blue. So we're going to go 2/3 times something equals -1. You have about 10 seconds. Try to fill in that blank yourself and then ask a neighbor what they got and why. You have 10 seconds. Go. Alrighty, ask a neighbor what they got in there. Yep, you should have gotten -3/2. That's our desired slope. Okay, now we're going to graph both lines. So I'm going to start by graphing this first line. I'm going to do this one in pink. That's +6. Graph it with me. And then my slope is 2/3. So I go down 2. And it's a positive, so I'm going to go over 3 this way. Or I could go up 2, over 3 this way. That's our first line. That's our given line. Our given line. That's our given line. That's what we're given. Then we have this mystery line. This mystery line has two qualities. It goes through this point right here, and it has this slope right here. So these two have to go together. So we have a point, and we have a slope. Anything ringing a bell? We have a point, and we have a slope. So we're going to plunk it into point-slope equation, which is right here. Write it down, y minus y1 equals slope, x minus x1. Let's start plugging stuff in. So there's our -5. We're going to plug it in right there. -5, so I end up with, that's going to be a double negative, so that becomes positive, equals, take the slope plunk it in right there. And then we have x, and we're going to take that right there, the x1, and plug it right there. So that's going to be minus 4. Okay, all you do, you see y1 and x1? Look at the colors. Exactly. Okay, now we're going to change it to y equals mx plus b, which means we want y by itself. So circle y. Your goal is to get y equals something. Ready? We're going to distribute this. Don't panic because it's a fraction. It's really easy. I made it easy. I love you, and that's why I'm making you guys learn. Okay, I distribute here, negative 3 over 2x. This one, 2 goes into 4 twice. Do you see that? If I multiply, let me put it here in the margin. Negative 3 over 2 times 4 goes like this. 2 goes into 4 twice. Negative 3 times 2, that ends up being minus 6. We're almost there. This is negative 3 over 2. Okay, yes ma'am. Okay, well, hang on. Minus, that's minus, double negative, makes it positive. Good call. Nice call. Yes, it's positive, it's a double negative. Ready? Last thing we do now is we simply take this 5 over here. Actually, it's minus 5, but we're having issues with integers today. That's minus 5, guys. It's minus 5. I'm getting up my toolbar here to fix it. Okay, so it's minus 5, minus 5. So your final answer is y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 1. Now we graph. Stay with me. Positive 1, right there. It's a negative line, so we're going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2 to the right. Or you can go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2 to the left. While you're at it, let's plot this point. Positive 4, negative 5, because it has to go through that point anyways. Positive 4, negative 5. If you've done this correct, this should all line up. I'm going to do this in red, which it does. See that? Ta-da! Okay, turn page. Standard form is something you've done before, so to the best of your ability. I'll give you about a minute. Do whatever you can. If you want to work as a team, you may. I'm going to come around and help you guys. I'd like you to graph 9x minus 3y equals 1. Standard form, this is ax plus by equals what's called c. You can either change it to y equals mx plus b, or you can use intercepts, 0 blank, okay, blank 0. Use whatever you'd like. See what you can do in about a minute. I'll turn on the lights for you guys. Let me put you out of your misery. You're all thinking you're wrong just because it's a fraction. You're not. Y equals mx plus b would look like this. It's going to be y equals, and that 9 is going to be negative. So I'm going to have negative 9x plus 1, and then we divide by a negative 3 for both. And we end up with y equals 3 over 1 x minus 1/3. You're like, it's a fraction. I'm going to die. It's okay. You'll live. Or let's do intercepts. If we put a 0 in the x, we say goodbye to that, and that is going to be negative 1/3. And in all honesty, I believe intercepts are easier for this kind of a problem. Here we put a 0 in the y, like so. Okay, and we solve for x, and we end up with 1/9. If you were to graph either of these, you're going to end up with a line that looks kind of like this. So, what I get for the y-intercept? Okay, if I go like, hang on, so I go like this. right? Goodbye to the x. And you divide both sides by -3. That's where the 1/3 came from. Okay, and then this one. So now we graph these 2 points. So this one, 0, -3 is going to look something like this. That's the y-intercept. So 0, -3, yeah, it's about 1/3. There's a dot. You just kind of guesstimate. That's 0, -1/3. And then this one is 1/9 and 0, so it's little itty-bitty right there. Okay? That's 1/9, 0, and then you graph it. So I know this is tricky to graph, guys, so if this were a test, what I'd be looking for would be the work. Oh boy. Life's a lot tougher than this there, buddy. Okay, last one, guys. Last one, and then I'll check. I want you to change both of these to what? And this one's a little bit easier. I want you to change both of them. Either use intercepts, or it's actually easiest, change both of these to mx plus b and graph. Y equals mx plus b and graph. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to do both of these. I'm going to come around and help you, and then we'll go over the answers. Change both of them to y equals mx plus b. Just come up here, circle the y. Your goal is to get y by its lonesome. That's your goal. Taking a look here, first you want to collect like terms, so we collect that. Of course, that's 24 minus 6y plus 4x equals 0. I want y by itself, so it's easier to just move the y. So I'm going to do plus 6y and bring it over. 6y. So I have here, okay, I'm going to have 24 minus 4x, excuse me, okay, plus 4x, excuse me, equals 6y, and then I'm going to divide everything by 6, and we end up with y equals 4 over 6x plus 4. Looks like so, positive 4, and up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 6. Or if you did 2/3, that's perfectly fine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there's your line. How many got that right? You good? Good. Okay. Last one. Here we don't need to collect like terms. I'm going to bring the y over here. So minus 8y minus 8y. So I have negative 32 minus 4x equals negative 8y. Divide everything by negative 8. And we end up with, I'm going to just flop it around because that's what you guys are used to. So we have y equals, double negative makes a positive, 1/2 x, double negative makes a positive, plus 4 again. So we're at 4, up 1, over 2, and such is life. How many got that one right? Excellent, guys. You are ready to go. Power through pages, you should try to get through pages 5, 6, and 7 in class, or at least 5 and 6, guys, even though it's chapel day. 5 and 6.